Ever feel like the world is changing faster than ever, like just spinning out of control?
It's a pretty common sentiment these days.
Yeah, and today we're diving deep into an idea that could be a major player in all that change Bitcoin.
Okay.
Now, before you tune out thinking this is just another crypto chat,
Right.
I'm not talking about day trading or, getting rich quick schemes.
Right.
We're exploring the potential of Bitcoin to, well, change everything.
It's a tall order for sure, but this article we're diving into argues just that life without Bitcoin will eventually become impossible.
It's a bold claim, but that's what we're here for, right?
Yeah.
To unpack these complex ideas, and this article doesn't hold back, jumping right into how Bitcoin could impact, of all things, government spending.
So,
What's the thinking there?
well, I think it hinges on the fundamental difference between Bitcoin and traditional currencies. Bitcoin's fixed supply. Governments can't manipulate it by, say, printing more whenever they want.
So no more relying on that magic money tree to fund pet projects.
Well, not exactly. But the article argues that this built-in constraint could lead to more fiscal responsibility. If governments know they can't just inflate their way out of debt, it forces them to prioritize and make tougher spending decisions.
It's a compelling thought. Imagine a world where politicians have to be more accountable for every dollar spent.
Precisely. The article suggests that this could even shift the power dynamic, making governments more accountable to their citizens, rather than relying on inflationary tactics that can, disproportionately impact those who can least afford it.
Interesting. And that leads into another bold claim from the article: Bitcoin as a catalyst for a more peaceful world. How could a digital currency impact something as complex as geopolitics?
Think about it. Many conflicts stem from a desire to control resources or seize assets. Since Bitcoin is decentralized and incredibly difficult to seize by force, it throws a wrench into those traditional power plays.
So if a country can't just invade another to seize its wealth.
It could make those actions far less appealing. Suddenly, diplomacy and cooperation become more strategically advantageous. Of course, it's a simplification of a very complex issue, but the article argues that Bitcoin could shift the cost-benefit analysis of conflict in a significant way.
It's a fascinating idea, almost like Bitcoin acting as a deterrent, making war less appealing by taking away one of its potential rewards.
Exactly. It introduces a new dynamic into the equation, and one that traditional geopolitical strategists haven't really had to grapple with before.
Okay, so we've got potentially more responsible governments and maybe even a more peaceful world. But the article doesn't stop there, does it? It also suggests that Bitcoin could have a profound impact on individuals, particularly in emerging markets.
It doesn't, and this is where things get really interesting. We often hear about Bitcoin as an investment, but the article argues that its most revolutionary impact could be in places with unstable economies or limited access to traditional banking.
Right, where hyperinflation or a lack of financial infrastructure can make it incredibly difficult to even, save or build wealth.
Exactly. Imagine living in a country where your savings could be wiped out overnight by runaway inflation. Bitcoin offers an alternative, a way to protect your hard-earned money and participate in a global financial system, regardless of where you live or your economic circumstances.
So it's less about getting rich and more about just having some kind of stable financial foundation.
Precisely, the article highlights how people in countries like Nigeria and Venezuela are using Bitcoin as a hedge against hyperinflation, effectively safeguarding their savings. It also points to its potential to bring financial services to the unbanked, providing access to microloans, remittances, and other tools that can help lift people out of poverty.
That's incredibly powerful. It seems like this potential for individual empowerment ties back to the idea of Bitcoin shifting power dynamics away from governments and large institutions and towards individuals.
Absolutely, and the article takes this concept a step further, arguing that Bitcoin incentivizes a fundamental shift in how we think about value creation itself.
Okay, I'm intrigued. How does a digital currency change our perception of value?
Well, in a traditional system, the value of your money can be eroded by inflation sometimes without you even realizing it. It's like a hidden tax that encourages short-term thinking and speculation, because who wants to save when their money is constantly losing value?
Right. It makes you wonder how much innovation has been stifled because people are incentivized to chase quick returns rather than invest in long-term value-creating projects.
Exactly. But with Bitcoin, its fixed supply means its value is determined by market demand, not government manipulation. This creates an environment where long-term thinking and value creation are rewarded. The article suggests that this could lead to a surge in innovation and a greater focus on building things that have real lasting value.
So instead of relying on get-rich-quick schemes or hoping to strike it rich in the next financial bubble, people are more inclined to think about building businesses, investing in education, or supporting projects that benefit society as a whole.
Precisely. It creates a system where patience and long-term vision are rewarded, which could have profound implications for everything from technological advancement to social progress.
It's a compelling argument. We've covered a lot of ground here, from the potential impact on government spending and global conflict to individual empowerment and even a rethinking of value creation itself. It's clear that Bitcoin represents more than just a new form of currency. It really does feel like we're grappling with something that has the potential to touch every aspect of our lives. But as you said earlier, whether these predictions fully materialize is still up for debate.
Absolutely. We're still in the early innings of this experiment,
hmm
and it's impossible to predict with certainty how things will unfold. But
hmm
even if Bitcoin doesn't radically reshape the world in the way the article suggests, it raises important questions about the systems we've built and whether they're truly serving us.
That's a really crucial point. It's easy to get caught up in the hype cycle, but maybe the true value of exploring these ideas is less about predicting the future and more about prompting us to examine the present with fresh eyes.
Precisely, what if Bitcoin's rise isn't just about technology, but a reflection of a deeper yearning for change?
Hmm.
People are looking for alternatives, for more equitable systems that empower individuals and promote long-term thinking.
That resonates with me. If anything, this deep dive has made me realize that we tend to accept the status quo without really questioning it. Bitcoin, with all its potential benefits and challenges, forces us to ask, what if there's a better way?
And that's a question worth asking. Even if you're not convinced that Bitcoin hold all the answers, perhaps the real takeaway is that we have more power to shape the future than we realize.
That's a great point to end on. So, to our listener, we leave you with this. Don't just take our word for it. Explore these ideas for yourself. Read the article, do your own research, and most importantly, start asking those what if questions. The future is unwritten, and it's up to all of us to shape it.